Pokémon on the Switch. It was a grand, thrilling mystery. The excitement was undermined with Let's Go. The light was all but extinguished. Hope pierced this veil and a promise was made. Pokémon was still coming in 2019. A new mystery was born that lasted months. But the time has come. The usurper lies defeated. It is time to take up our arms and march to the Galar region. This is the journey to Pokemon Sword and Shield. As of this video, the story for Sword and Shield is a mystery, and I honestly hope it remains a mystery well into the game's released. All this mystery, though, has got my mind thinking of all the possible stories we could see in this game. As a writer, when this happens, I just gotta write. So for weeks now, I've been playing with the ideas that could shape the story that we'll be playing at the end of this year. What will be told is inspired by past Pokemon games and mythology of the world. This will be a multiple-part series spanning up to 3 episodes, but not limited to that. Think of this as a mini fanfiction series, but not as a narrative. This is just one scenario, and I may do others possibly, depending on how the series is received. In this scenario, the game would open with the news of the Monarch of Galar region having passed peacefully overnight. The region is in mourning, but a great issue presents itself. The monarch does not have an heir to the throne. The political powers at be are in turmoil, as this has not happened in 3,000 years. This is where the opening cutscene ends and the title card appears, and we get a time jump, and we are now a month or so after the passing of the monarch. The main character wakes up to an important day in their life. This is the day they are to meet the professor. For this scenario, we'll have Professor Blackthorn, an elderly woman who is both sassy and wise. This part of the story plays out as every Pokemon game does. You and your rival meet the professor, get your Pokemon, and do the basic tutorial stuff that ends with your first gym battle at the trainer school in your hometown. After this victory, you are gifted a train pass and the whole region opens up to you. Blackthorn congratulates you and informs you on where to go next if you want to take on the Galar League. This is where the tutorial ends and the whole game really begins. You take the train from the hometown and head through the mountains and come to the Lake District of the region. While on the train, you hear passengers talking about how the region is in turmoil over the passing of the monarch. The 3 most influential and old families of the region are all clamoring for the right to sit on the throne. These major families are House Calsas, whose sigil is a golden gear on a blue field, House Turum, whose sigil is an orange-brown tower on a yellow field, and House Blackthorn, whose sigil is a gold rose on a violet field. The monarch who ruled was the last member of House Anguis, whose sigil originally was a black worm on a red field, though as the ruling family they took the sigil of the golden crown on their family's background of red. The people the main character over here says they are worried that all this bickering could grow worse if a person is not seated on the throne. After this short cutscene, you arrive at the next leg of your journey. This is where we get a small taste of the open world game we want. In this scenario, this whole area is open and we can traverse it as we see fit. There are a plethora of new Pokemon to see and catch. Story events will force you to enter this rundown tower at the north of the area. And this is where we get the first bit of plot outside the challenge in the Galar League. The main character will see 2 hooded figures enter the ruins and you follow them in. Keeping to the shadows, you overhear the people talking about the turmoil the old families of Galar are going through, and it was all like they planned. At this moment, your rival comes in and blows your cover. The 2 hooded figures turn and attack. After the Pokemon battle, they flee without a word. You fill your rival in on what happened, and he or she brushes it off as they have never been interested in politics and would rather focus on Pokemon battling. You leave the tower and proceed north into the Geared City, home to House Calsas. Upon entering the city, you meet a trainer that is the same age as the player and the rival. They are a little strange and seem overly proper. Think Lily mixed with Wally. They are quirky and skittish, but turn to you as a newcomer just like them. Their Pokemon has been taken by strange hooded thieves that say they will use it for the future of Galar. Your chase of the thieves act more like a tour of the city, and it ends at the hideout near the sewers. You take them on and they reveal themselves to be members of Team Order, and after defeating them they swear to bring a new line or rule to Galar. They vanish and you return the Pokemon to your new friend and they thank you. You and your rival and your strange new friend all agree to meet up again. At this point, you now have free reign of the city and can do as you please. But being a trainer, the gym calls to you, but to your dismay, the master of the gym will not allow you in, calling you too much of a greenhorn to challenge the Kelses family gym. You are instructed to earn the badges of the Grass and Water Masters before you may enter this gym. After checking the map, you leave the city, traveling westward in the caves that will take you to the Grass Gym. The sights of this rural town are overshadowed by the geoglyph carved into the mountain overlooking the land. You enter the town during a festival celebrating both a good harvest and the god that watches over the town. This would be a lore dump on the Pokémon depicted in the geoglyph. An old druid-like man takes notice of you and approaches you. He is wild and eccentric, but you are told he is the town elder. He asks you to come with him to the Giant. Along the way, he tells you in more detail that the Giant is a legendary Pokemon that helped shape the Galar region as we know it today. The Elder tells you how, 3,000 years ago, this Pokemon ended the near civil war that the region was facing after being defeated in the war with Kalos. The king of the Galar was killed in that war when the ancient weapon was fired by AZ, and the remaining lords were all fighting to see who would rule. The very situation that is occurring now. This bit of lore ends with the Elder saying what a shame it is that this Pokemon no longer walks the land. After this all plays out, the world opens to you again and you can make the choice to battle the Grass Gym Master or head east to the Port City where you can take on the Water Gym. The choice is yours, and for this scenario, take the gyms in order and take on the first real arena battle with the Grass-type Gym Master. After a hard-fought victory, the only place to go now is east where you pass the daycare of the region. It is similar to Sun and Moon's as your only breeding done here, but it is far more high-tech compared to past daycares. You are introduced to the caretaker of the place, and they explain not only can you carry eggs with you and hatch them like old times, but you can put them in incubators within the daycare and they will hatch in roughly 12 to 24 hours depending on the Pokemon. This is the replacement for Pokepelago's Hot Springs where you would hatch up to 16 eggs at once. Wild Dittos can be found in the grass around this place, as well as some rare baby Pokemon. After learning about breeding and the facility, you continue to the Port City where trouble is unfolding. You meet your friend who you helped back in the Gear City and they fill you in on what's going on. The city officials here are loyalists to House Turum, and they have shut down the port, creating an embargo on the whole region. They will only back down if the head of House Turum is seated on the throne. The people are angry over this and are on the brink of a riot when a handsome young man in a posh suit arrives with bodyguards that resemble Secret Service. The crowd of people falls into a hush, and your timid friend says that's the Prime Minister of the region, the person who really holds the power of the place. The Prime Minister is very unhappy with the embargo and demands for the port to be reopened or there will be consequences for the city. Fearing what he could do, the city official backs down and the ports are reopened. Your friend tells you that they are worried that the houses are fighting for the throne are going too far now, and they hope a new monarch is crowned before the worst comes to pass. They ask you for a favor. They want to see how strong they've gotten since they first met, and you two have a battle. They are much stronger and sport a number of dragon Pokemon. Even though they lose, they are proud of the power they have. After this battle, the Port City is open to you, and you can browse the exotic wares from other regions or take on the gym. You take on the gym, and as the protagonist of the story, you have plot armor, so you win with ease. After earning the third badge, you get an updated train pass and have your choice of returning to Gear City. You can take the train and get back there as fast as possible, or take it by foot following an underground road that gains you some experience. The choice is yours, and either way, you return for your next gym battle. This is where the first part of this series will end. What will happen when the main character enters Gear City? What are the mysterious Team Order really up to? How far are the old families of Galar willing to go to sit on the region's throne? You'll find out this and more in part 2 of this little mini-series. Don't expect this series to be up next week, though. This video took a long time to make. What do you think of the start of this scenario? Would you enjoy a Pokemon game that started like that? Let me know in the comments below. In the next part, I may give some major characters in this little story some names to go by instead of calling them your friend 1 and your friend 2. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like and share on helps grow the channel, and I really do appreciate it. Become an Emperor of the Phoenix today by following me on Twitter. The links can all be found in the description below. Go check out some of the other series I have going on. Mondays and Fridays are Stardew Valley, Tuesdays and Thursdays are Pokemon Uranium, Wednesday is Journey to Pokemon Sword and Shield, and Saturday is my Pokemon fanfiction Axiom. Sundays can be anything. Best to check Twitter for what's going up then. It's a crapshoot, really. Anything can happen. If any of that sounds interesting to you, be sure to check it out. And with all that said, this has been Black Phoenix. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all in the next one.